right. Now, we're segueing, Chris, to Kentucky hosting Ole Miss. Ole Miss comes in as an 8.5-point favorite. Over under is at 50.5. We saw what this game was like last year, Chris. If you ask an Ole Miss Rebel fan, what do you think about this game? They will look at you with the side eye. Especially us, knowing we're Mississippi State Bulldog fans.
Yeah. No, this game was something else last season. But heading into the matchup this year, Kory, there are some things that carry over from last season. Of course, you got Lane Kiffin, Mark Stoops. They're both still coaches at their respective universities. But the personnel is a lot different. And even though this game is taking place in Lexington at Kentucky, which is a plus for the Wildcats, this is a Kentucky team that, let's just be frank, everybody watches SEC football is down on this year. Whole lot of transfer guys in. You lost a lot of your key players. Dane Key, Nebraska, Barryon Brown, and LSU. A lot of the top guys that you had that you've been building up are no longer there. And so I think this game, this will be a game of atonement for Ole Miss. I think Lane Kiffin will have these guys locked in, and I think they plan on running Kentucky out the building. I look at the offenses these two teams have, and they couldn't be more polar opposite. Ole Miss has a system in place, and they look to be cooking. Looks to be plug and play. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback, who's at wide receiver. Lane Kiffin has a scheme. He knows how to get his playmakers the ball. Kentucky has an old QB who just doesn't have it anymore, Calzada. He doesn't look to be the guy that, he hasn't lived up to the billing. And so I don't think he is that good. I don't think he's that good. I don't think Kentucky will be able to hang with Ole Miss, honestly. So I think Ole Miss, even though they're on the road, I think they run the Wildcats off of Kroger Field, and I think this one might get ugly because Lane ain't trying to have what happened last year happen again. If there's any coach in the nation, Kory, that we know who will run up the score, if he can, it is Lane Kiffin. And I think they will be playing 60 minutes of football in this game.
Not a minute wasted. No, I definitely agree with you. Look, we all know how, petty Lane Kiffin. Let's call it how petty Lane Kiffin can be sometimes with the play clock. He will he will take advantage of that play clock like it's no tomorrow. And if he has that football on offense, he is going to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Why kneel when I can just score another touchdown? We're not trying to play in a way where they can always come back and get ahead of us. No, we try to play to make sure we extend the lead. How far can we extend the lead? That's what we want to see.
He coaches like he's playing college football 26.
Exactly. Oh man, it like punt? No. No. I watch Detroit Lions games too. I'm going for it every time.
The man don't care, and I'm here for
it. He doesn't care. He does not care. No. I think that's the beauty of Lane Kiffin. Look, that's why a lot of people love Lane Kiffin. There's also a reason why a lot of people don't like Lane Kiffin. But hey, he's definitely a different breed in college football, I should say.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's in his own lane. I'll put it like that.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh man, but yeah, I think this game is going to be. I don't think this is going to be a game from the get go for Kentucky. I don't think they have really anything in the tank to stop this Ole Miss team. I do think if you look on the flip side, and I like what I saw from Zach Calzada last week. I do think this Ole Miss defense is probably a little susceptible. And I think they're going to kind of showcase that through the pass and a little bit through the run. I did see a little bit of misses, miss tackles and everything last week from Ole Miss. So I do think Kentucky is going to showcase a little bit of Ole Miss's weaknesses, probably early in the game. But in terms of staying up with Ole Miss and in order to try to catch up with them throughout the ball game, I don't think this Kentucky team has that this season. And I think Ole Miss is going to win this game by a wide margin. I'm going to go ahead and say Ole Miss wins this game probably 35-17.
Yeah, I was thinking 38-10 myself.
Okay.
So I'm right there with you. I think it gets ugly. It gets ugly. Yeah. And so you're an Ole Miss fan. That's what you want. You want it to be as ugly as it can be with the margin of victory, because this was the game that kept you out the playoff last year. So I think all the natural incentive is there for Ole Miss to put a beat down on Kentucky. And the vibes aren't good in Kentucky for Mark Stoops. The man's getting paid $9 million a year, and they're over under this season for wins is at 4.5. It's just not going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it.
So
it's not going to
be his swan song. This might be his last season with the program, Kory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which will be tough, just because we've seen Mark Stoops from the day he got there in Lexington. I mean, you cover Kentucky sports there, Chris, and you saw the trajectory of Mark Stoops in Kentucky, and you saw great players like Benny Snell and so many other players, Dane Key,
Chris Rodriguez,
Rodriguez. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like these were some great talents out there. Yeah, and yeah, you could really see that Mark Stoops was building something special, and he did build something special there for the time that he's been there. You can kind of start feeling that maybe the wheels are unfortunately starting to run off the rails now with his time there. And look, that happens. Yeah. We saw it with Dan Mullen at Mississippi State, now at UNLV. And yeah, we've seen it with so many other coaches. It happens, and we're not fully going to write them off yet. We'll see what the rest of the season entails, but in terms of the way that he used to compete week in and week out, it's starting to kind of wane a little bit. Even if you probably ask the average Kentucky fan, it's starting to definitely give off that vibe.
It's a little unfortunate because he did do what you typically do as a coach. He did cash out. Remember, for a few hours, he was the new head coach at Texas A&M.
Yes, he was.
So I think if he's at Texas A&M right now, things are a little differently for him. And to be announced as a head coach for another school in the same conference as the one you are currently coaching for things to play out like they did, I think that guy has a lot to do with the circumstances now, with losing the locker room in a sense, and how things have just transpired, the fallout from that, how things played out with that. So it's unfortunate for him because he did try to. He saw that, I think, that he did all that could be done and was ready for the next challenge. So we'll see how things play out for him this season. If he could, steer the ship in the right direction and get a couple upset wins. If you are, it needs to start this week because you're at home and taking on a team that you beat last season, and this is a ranked team, and it's a conference game. And so any SEC game you have at home, you feel like, I think going into it, that you're looking at it like we should win this game. So if you want to get things rolling, it needs to start this week. I just don't think it will.
Yeah, that's all I could say as well. In looking at this game, that's what I see right now from Kentucky. Like I said, do they still, have a little fight in them? Do they still have some talent that could, probably make this game a little interesting early? Yeah, possibly so. Just because Ole Miss.
You got Kendrick Law.
Yeah, you got Kendrick Law. You got a couple of guys out there, but can they put together a complete game that can help them potentially, win this week? It's gonna be tough, man. You know how it is with Lane Kiffin offenses, man. When he has everything clicking on all cylinders,
it turns into a track meet real fast.
Yes, it does. And you don't want to be on the other side if you can't handle it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're right. It turns into one of Usain Bolt Olympic races real quick before you know it. Ole Miss is looking back at you. Next thing you know, you down 21 points. And it's halfway through the second quarter. You trying to figure out what happened. So,
I know.
So yeah, no, that's very well how this one could play out. So we both rocking with the Revs to get the dub in this one.
Yeah.
But hey, it's an SEC game. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. It's going to be an interesting one indeed, and I can't wait for us to break this game down on our live Sunday show. So it should be interesting.